started. We got that started. Golly. Ugh. Will that stay up? No, it won't. No, it won't. Get that idea up. Where's my other stand? Yeah, that shit's just gonna keep falling. Where is my other stand?
Is that a JoJo's reference?
No, it isn't. Anyway. Boom. Problem solved. Now, at a stable stand, everything could be seen. We finna get a conversation. Oh boy. We got quite a bit to talk about today, y'all. We got quite a bit to talk about today. Oh, I forgot to open up on my bookmarks. Today, wonderful, awesome, beautiful people. Today, we got a wonderful fucking stream ahead of us. We are officially 19 days into February 20 motherfucking 25. We are 19 days into the month about the history of Negro. With that being said, first thing we gotta talk about is the main thing we gotta talk about. We're talking about how the history of many people that had to lay down their lives on the line, and keeping in line with talk about land, let's talk about how Marvel Rivals released a statement, an official statement about the layoffs that occurred over there at their studio recently. NetEase get fuck that. We already know about that part. I want to see the statement they made, because we already know, and I've heard some stuff surrounding it. I haven't heard or read or seen like the initial statement or nothing like that, but I'm looking for the statement. They will go from there. Chinese development studio, Blade is set to come out. It's all bittersweet. The fuck was their statement? NetEase recently released a statement on to PC Gamer. Okay, so I don't need to read this shit then. Alright, let's see where the statement is. Boom. NetEase has now confirmed the layoffs of Marvel Rivals developers in a statement provided to PC Gamer. We recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals development team structure for organizational reasons to optimize development efficiency for the game, a NetEase representative said. So I think it's going on the pattern of what I said. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Welcome in, welcome in. I think it's going on a pattern of what I said, because what I said, the most likely thing, the most likely reason for them to like do a bunch of layoffs like this back to back is probably 9 times out of 10 because they either that studio was twiddling their thumbs or they were cutting costs, and they just said, hey, they looked at the books, they said, hey, this is the best way to cut costs. And that's what it looks like the situation is. And another perspective I heard on it is it might be a little bit of a political thing, because the way they broke it down was basically, this is a Chinese studio. NetEase is a Chinese studio. There might be a lot of complication with tariffs and trying to communicate with people overseas, because it's going to be real difficult to communicate with people like overseas, because you know, time zone differences and stuff like that. So that might be like another part of the reason, but you know, y'all might have to wait. Where's my button? Y'all gonna have to clap it up for me. Y'all gonna have to clap me up. I predicted that. Anyway, this resulted in, a NetEase representative said, this resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global function. Okay, so another thing that I didn't have, like another piece of context, is the studio that we were talking about that they laid off was a support studio. It wasn't like the main studio or nothing like that, because that's one thing that like a lot of the reports said. They said director of the game, director of game design and stuff like that, but they didn't specify it was at a support studio. Now, I will say this. A support studio can mean, and a support studio can be a lot of things. What the fuck? Oh, can mean and be a lot of things. I don't know what the fuck, like how much work they were doing in terms of being a supporting studio. Because like a support studio in terms of level designs and level designer, they could really just be overlooking level designs and saying, oh, these are some things you could clean up here and there. Like they may be basically like a consulting group, maybe just giving input, and they probably looked at the books, like I said, and probably went, we could do this shit ourselves, gang. Get the fuck out of here. Get off our payroll. You're not adding any value. This resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global design function in support of Marvel Rivals. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of those affected and will be treating them confidentially and respectfully with the recognition of their individual contributions. I'm not gonna lie. Unless you're individually contributing to each of their pockets and giving them severance, you don't give a fuck. Like, you're laying these people off because your company needs to restructure, blah, 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 blah. I hope these niggas is getting severance. I hope they're getting a bunch of recommendation letters. I hope they're getting a good severance. Not just severance, period. I hope they're getting good severance. Because there's a lot of times I've seen people leave companies and they get fucked up severances. Severance be goddamn. They used to making $5K a month. And severance is like $1.5 thousand. Like, fuck, I'm gonna do with that. If I make $5,000, my rent is probably at least 2 bands. Fuck, I'm gonna do a $1.5 thousand severance. That's like a month of rent. The fuck. The company added that the core development team in China remains fully committed to delivering an exceptional experience. And that is investing more, not less, into the evolution and growth of this game. We're excited to deliver new superhero characters, maps, features, and content to ensure an engaging live service experience for our worldwide player base. NetEase didn't say how many employees were put out of work, but confirmed that there are now no Seattle-based developers working on Marvel Rivals. That makes me question, because I haven't checked the credits of this game because, you know, I'm a normal person, but I wonder, A, how are people being credited for this game? B, are there any other American support studios? Because if I was working in a NetEase support studio, I would be shaking in my motherfucking boots right now. But some people that aren't shaking in their boots about the information that they're giving out are ex-PlayStation employees, because every damn week we see an article about ex-PlayStation employees said this, ex-PlayStation employees said that. Them motherfuckers is not scared to say a damn thing. They ain't scared of no NDAs and none of that. But this time an ex-PlayStation executive said that studios aren't forced into live service stuff. They're just feel it gives them a better chance of a project being approved and supported. Translation: they're not forcing us to do it, but if we don't, we're not getting any funding. And if we do, we're going to have to fight through hell and high water and very fucking hard to get it. I read this headline and I said, oh yeah, I got to bring this up on stream. Because what it sounds like what he said was, we're not technically forced. But what he said was, actually, legally, I can't say we're forced, but we're more likely, like significantly more likely, like a non-negligible high difference, more likely to get our project approved if we say we're making a live service game. Now, technically speaking, we could present a non-live service game, but we could also not. Not gonna lie, this sounds like corporate speak. But let's read further into it and see more of exactly what he said and get into it. It's okay, everyone. Former PlayStation exec Yoshida has said that, to his knowledge, none of the first-party studios under the console maker's command have been forced into making live service games. they've just been more likely. They've more likely just chosen to get on board with a big initiative for the small reason of thinking it'd give them a better chance of having a project actually be picked up and supported. Here's the downside to that. If you're going based off of like, oh, let's make a live service game because that's more likely to get picked up, what you're saying is effectively, if it ain't live service, they don't want to hear about it. And the thing about that is there are plenty of non-live service finite like games with an actual end that make a good amount of money that aren't live service. Like there's a whole, like, alright, Baldur's Gate 3. That game's not live service in any way, shape, or form. Like, they continuously update it and add new features. Like, for example, not too long ago, Baldur's Gate 3 just got mod support. So, like, you don't have to be on PC to play with mods, or even if you are on PC, you don't have to go through a bunch of extra steps to install a mod engine and none of that. You don't have to copy and paste files into the right folder and hope it doesn't brick the game. No. They have a specific storefront or whatever where you can insert mods into the game and it does all the file moving and mod engine stuff itself, so that it makes all of that stuff like 10 times easier for a person who just sees a mod and wants to play with it. Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year like 2023. Astrobot won Game of the Year last year. Concord was one of the biggest flops in gaming history. Oh, even though every time I have to say that fact, it hurts my heart to say, because I genuinely enjoyed that game, it is what it was, okay? That being said, like I said, I still don't understand how they have one of the most astronomical, craziest gaming flops in all of gaming history, and they're more biased and leaning towards live service games. It's like, bro, I get it that a valid business strategy is to throw shit towards a wall until it sticks. But it's like, bro, how much shit you gonna fling before you say, I don't like sticking my hands in the piles of feces to fling shit? Like, approve the games that are good. Don't get me wrong. Yes. And if it is live service, cool. But like what this does is encourage non-live service game generating studios to make live service games, or to be more lean towards adding live service elements in their game that otherwise wouldn't fit. That kills creativity. And you know what happens when you kill creativity? We get games that are worse. You know what happens when we get games that are worse? You go broke, because don't nobody want to buy that shit. The soon-to-be voice of Duck Mascot said this stuff in an interview with Sacred Symbols, thanks Push Square. And it's interesting, if, to be fair, just the kind of thing you'd expect someone who's been a big boss at a company like this to say. Yeah, this is exactly what I would expect them to say. We're not forcing you, but we're also not forcing you. But if you bring that shit to us, we'll review it, but we're going to say no. After saying the bit about the studios not being forced into doing live service things, Yoshida outlined, from my experience, when studios see the company has a big initiative, they realize riding on that gives them a better chance of getting a project approved and supported. Facts. Which, a lot of people who may not have heard a lot of people engage in corporate bullshit speak may not understand what that is. But what it is it's a corporate HR safe way to say, we're not going to tell you what to do, but if you bring that shit to us, we'll review it. And if it's not live service, we'll consider if it should be made. And the consideration is probably going to be fuck no, unless it's built on a franchise that's very well known. So, for example, if it's a well-known franchise like a God of War, like a The Last of Us, Tomb Raider, a franchise that's been around for fucking ever, getting entries for fucking ever. If it's not a franchise like that, or yet another sequel, they're probably going to shrug their shoulders and say, nah, get that shit away from us. We don't care. It's not like current PlayStation studio boss, Herman Holst, is telling teams they need to make live service games. It's likely mutual. It's likely that they understand that if they don't bring you something live service, you're going to shrug your shoulders. While you can't say he's not technically right, it doesn't seem like Yoshida's dipping into corpo speak here. Yes, it does. 100% does. Because the alternative is sequel is easier to get approved sequels. Like, oh yeah, people know this, what you call it? People know this game, people know this studio. Yeah, let's give them another one. There's a lot of fans of that game. Like, bro, give us some new shit. Like, sequels are cool every once in a while, but we also like new shit. And like, when it comes to sequels, like, I believe there's a thing such as like sequel burnout, where you give us sequel after sequel after sequel to the point to where we're getting tired of the games. Like, I miss when games got 1, 2, 3 done, 1, 2, 3 done, maybe a 4, maybe a 5 after a long hiatus of them making games. And I remember even when they used, even like back in like the 360 era and like the beginning of the PS4 era, like whenever a game got 1, 2, 3 entries, if it did get a 4, if it did get a 5, the studio took some time off to make another IP. The studio took some time off to focus on another IP, so they're not just making the same game over and over. So they're offering different things to the market that the market can enjoy. Also, like, it's a lesser seen strategy from what I see, but there are way less studios offering like 4 and 5 games. Like, now studios just work on like 2, 3 games and then publish them bitches and then work on sequels to those 2, 3 games. Like, they don't go on to the next game, and then if the reception is astronomically crazy, they say, all right, we'll wait a year, work on this game, and then we'll release that, then we'll release a sequel. They just hammering. Like Iron Man in the middle of that, what was that TV show? I don't know if it was an Iron Man animated TV show or if it was a different one, but like the name wise, but the Iron Man TV show where that had the I am Iron Man, where he's sitting there like ting 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 ting. Yeah, that's them just hammering and hammering and hammering on the same fucking game over and over. It's like, bro, just like some of your developers are tired of that shit, so is the market. I know it's a bit. Oh wait, no. No, I said that. Concluding that just going along with it will impact their chances of not ending up in the kind of perilous limbo we hear about studios who end up having multiple pitches rejected, having to deal with. Surely that's not the healthiest thing in the world for a company at all. I know it's a bit idealistic, but surely companies like PlayStation should be aiming to foster an environment in which their flagship studios feel they've got the trust of higher ups and pitch whatever they feel based on their expertise is the right game for their unique talents. Yeah, but you see what that word is? Unique talents. The part that I think is getting missed here is that they don't think your talents are unique. And even if they think your talents are unique, they think your unique talent is making a game. And when they think game, they don't think of every game as like its own individual cool thing. They think of games in terms of the thing that people pick up the controller and play. Like, they don't separate it, they don't nuance it in the action games and the RPG games, point and click adventures, story games, like in terms of the stuff that Telltale does, Telltale The Walking Dead. They don't think of roguelikes, action games. When it comes to action, is it a action adventure? Is it a pure action? Is it an action RPG? Like, is it an action puzzle game? Is it an action fighting game in terms of like 1v1 PvP type fighting game? It's a lot of subcategories and stuff like that they don't understand. So they just see game and then they want the word successful in front of it. And in the past few years, what has been the most successful types of games? Roblox, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto Online, Marvel Rivals is a recent example. And the reason why those games are successful are not because they're live service. It's because they're good and can fit into the market best. You know, rather than everyone getting swept up in a company-wide bandwagon and crowding up in a space in which, in the case of live service stuff, prior to PlayStation's largely ill-fated big push, was already tough to break through and score a big hit. Yeah. And for every Fortnite, again, there's 10 Concords. For every Fortnite, there's 17 Battleborns. I bet you niggas don't even remember Battleborn. Let me remind you. For every Battleborn, there's a Gigantic, the game that dies and come back every other week. Because I remember I liked this game too. This game was pretty fun. Right before they went free to play, this game was pretty fucking fun. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember Battleborn? Yeah, no. God damn it. Oh wait, no, that's perfect. That was a website. I accidentally clicked on that. Y'all remember this shit? Battleborn? It came out around the same time as Overwatch. It was like a PvP shooter. It was like a PvP hero shooter. Y'all remember this shit? Y'all remember this shit? It was like a MOBA. It was like in the same vein as Paragon. That game came out. It was pretty good. Fucking flopped. Fucking flopped. They tried to introduce a live service game to compete with Overwatch. Niggas was not hopping off Overwatch to play that. And remember, this is back when if you had a live service game, you had to pay $60 for it. So niggas, well, actually Battleborn was $40, but niggas was paying $40 to play Battleborn before it went free to play. Up until Overwatch had its free to play update, niggas was paying $60 to play Overwatch. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Other than, like he said, this market is very crowded. Because another thing you got to keep in mind, niggas spend thousands and thousands of dollars on their Fortnite account. Niggas spend thousands and thousands of dollars on their Roblox account that they've been on for the last 5-10 years. I've seen people who've been playing Roblox so long, they've had like their birthday in Roblox 2-3 times before. I legit genuinely know somebody who's been playing Roblox for 15 years. They've been playing Roblox since 2010. Roblox has been out since like 2008 or something like that. Game's been out for fucking ever. Okay? Some people have been playing Roblox longer than most people have been alive. That's fucking wild. I don't know. To be fair, I've spent the past 30 years or so playing a big role in leading one of the biggest companies in gaming. Plus, to be fair, Yoshida, he doesn't appear to be saying this is a good thing necessarily, just pointing out that it happens. Fair. He also said regarding to live service projects, yeah, live service projects, PlayStation's recently canned, yeah, it sucks. Speaking of live servers, speaking of live service things that PlayStation have canned, I want to hear about The Last of Us Online. I don't give a fuck about none of the context. Basically, The Last of Us was supposed to get a online game, like an online mode or something like that, a live service mode that would have been cool, and it got canceled. Now, I don't know if any of y'all ever played that multiplayer mode that they had in Uncharted and in the first Last of Us, but that shit was fucking fire. I don't know. I don't even remember why they shut it down. But let's read. What's the statement? Naughty Dog said at the time, we realize many of you have been anticipating news around the project that we've been calling The Last of Us Online. There's no easy way to say this. We've made it incredibly, basically they shut it down. As the multiplayer team iterated on their concept for it during the time their vision crystallized, the gameplay got more refined and satisfying, and we were enthusiastic about the direction in which we were headed. What? The multiplayer team has been in pre-production, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, more dev shit. In ramping up to full production, the massive scope of our ambition became clear. To release, they're just basically reminding you. So for those of y'all who don't remember, the reason why they said we're not doing it is basically because they went, we don't have the resources to support this, like, at all. So they said we gotta cut that shit the fuck off. Now speaking to Sacred Symbols via Push Square, Yoshida. Okay, so more shit from Yoshida. The idea for The Last of Us Online came from Naughty Dog and they wanted to make it, but Bungie explained to them what it takes to make live service games, and Naughty Dog realized, wow, we will go broke or we will go out of business if we try to do that. We can't make Intergalactic the heretic prophet, so that was lack of foresight. I mean, we're getting Intergalactic out of it, so I don't really think that's a bad thing. If Intergalactic is good. If Intergalactic is not good, then nah, nigga, y'all niggas should have worked. Y'all niggas should have made The Last of Us Online. The tally, because from what it says here, it says that they sounded and seemed pretty ambitious and they were pretty fucking excited about the idea. I just thought, let me move this from here to here. It seems like they were pretty excited about the idea and they were really fucking with the idea and they were all really happy to do it. It's just, they basically went, we ain't got the money, we ain't got the resources to be able to do this properly. If we do this, like I said, we might go broke doing it, even though we really want to do it and we really want to put it together and bring it to life. The cancellation of Last of Us Online came as part of a sweeping pullback from live service at Sony at SIE. Yeah, that's true. While Arrowheads was a breaking hit, then there's Concord on the other end of the spectrum. I mentioned that, blah, 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 blah. Now, speaking of Yoshida said, from my experience, when studios see the company has a big initiative, okay, and that's what we just talked about. Nah, because you really just said some weird shit. Like, let me see, how do you block? I've been blocked. That was weird, bro. Not gonna lie, that was some weird shit to say. No hi, no hello, nothing. Just coming in instantly, starting with the weird shit. Keeping on the topic of weird shit, let's talk about a game with a lot of weird designs, Dark Souls. And let's talk about a weird decision that Sony made based on From Software on how they didn't work with Sony on Dark Souls because of how the company failed Demon Souls, said ex-PlayStation boss. We definitely dropped the ball. How much did Demon Souls sell? Because was that game a failure when it first came out? Demon Souls sales. 1.4 million as of 2021. Okay. Yeah, did Demon Souls sell well? Positive, allowed the game to sell over 100,000, which the team considered a success. Yeah, so if the team considered it a success, then how the fuck did they fail? Company failed Demon Souls? How did they fail Demon Souls? That's what I'm curious to figure out right now. Speaking on Sacred Symbol podcast, as spotted in Transcribed by VGC, Yoshida said, From Software was already working on the sequel, but they were so disappointed with how PlayStation treated them, we wanted to work with them again, but they passed on it. Oh, so Sony was like, hey, come work with us, we got you. And they basically said, nah, bro, we don't want to work with your bitch ass. That makes sense. I'm gonna blow my nose real quick, though. Oh, music cut off? Oh, no, it's just at the quiet part of the instrumental. Y'all like that nice boogie woogie ASMR? Why is it not? One second. My dumb ass this whole time was talking with no fucking music. Oh my god. This whole time I was hearing the music through here. Damn, I must be interesting because y'all watching and none of y'all said nothing. Hey, it is what it is. Going back to this though, PlayStation mistreated them. I feel like we don't have to look deeper into that. What was the mistreatment? Because if a company mistreats me, I'm gonna leave them the fuck alone too. From my personal experience with Demon Souls, when it was close to final, I spent close to 2 hours playing it, and after 2 hours, I was still stranding at the beginning of the game, recalls Yoshida. I said, this is crap. This is an unbelievably bad game, so I put it aside. Obviously, that was a mistake, one of which Yoshida amends to. Yeah, when it comes to Soulsborne games, that is a factual. Not everybody, can get into Soulsbornes immediately. Like, some people, it has to take a second to click in your mind. So I definitely understand that. Obviously, that was a mistake. We definitely dropped the ball from a publishing standpoint, including studio management side, he says. We were not able to see the value of the product we were making. Hey, at least some of the higher ups can admit to their mistakes. Now, it's a little too late because you could have did that shit like 3, 4, 5 years ago, but better late than never. Better late than ever. This one. I'm low-key mad. I did, my dumbass forgot to switch over to inputs. But speaking about dumbass decisions, let's talk about how Amazon thought it could compete with Steam because it was so much larger than Valve. But Prime Gaming's former vice president admits gamers already had the solution to their problem. What? So are you saying that Amazon went, damn, we don't have yet another thing to make a problem to then swoop in and magically provide the solution to for a small fee? And they did the whatever that dude from Yakuza was, where he smacked the desk and walk away. That was Amazon after they realized that. Well, because I remember Amazon dropped like 2-3 games that were fucking terrible. But one thing I need you to do is drop your head forward, stand up, get off your couch, get off the toilet, get off whatever, grab some water. And if you're on the toilet, please don't grab any water from in the bowl. That is fucking disgusting. Weird ass nigga. Don't grab no toilet bowl water. That's counterproductive. Go to the sink, get you a cup, get you a bottle, a bowl, a plate. Fuck it. If you gotta take a piece of cardboard and do like this and put the water in and drink it and hold it at the bottom, hey, it is what it is. Do what you gotta do. But go get you some water to ingest and ingest it with me. Let's have water ingestion. I don't know why I like doing that. I really don't. Can't be dropping the African pattern. The fuck is wrong with me? Anyway, let's get back into this. Alright, I'm being glib here, and hindsight is 2020. But reading through this explanation, what's the explanation, bitch? I don't want to hear your opinion. Respectfully, I'm gonna develop my own. The 15+ year long attempt to challenge Steam started before I was VP of Prime Gaming. Oh, they're talking about that shitty ass launcher. Yeah, again, Amazon didn't find yet another market they could bully their way into. So you know how like you have the Steam launcher and you have the Epic Games launcher? Amazon thought they could introduce their own launcher, but the thing about that is they've tried to gain foothold in a market that already had a better solution. And when it comes to how Amazon treats their customer base, they treat their customer base like shit anytime they get the chance to. Now, I'm not saying Steam is perfect, but Steam is one of those companies that they do their business. They have policies that are favorable towards the customer. They have policies that are favorable towards the business owner. And then on top of that, they meet that balance of holding business owners accountable for trying to pull any bullshit, and they make it so that the customers get a fair experience. Now, the customers, you may not be able to get everything you want. You may not be able to get free games every damn day, but when you do buy a game, they do give you a fair chance to try the game out, and if you don't like it, return it. You get your money back, no questions asked. Whoop! My phone tried to fall. Hold on. Let me put it on a flat surface because I had it on top of some game cases. Not on my watch. Y'all see that? Y'all see the reflexes? Call me up. Call me the fuck up. Pop it the fuck up for that catch. Anyway, the 15+ year long attempt to challenge Steam. He then maps out the timeline. First, an ill-fated attempt at making Reflexive Entertainment's online store a thing. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Reflexive Entertainment's online store. I've never heard of that shit. Reflexive was an American video game developer based in... What the fuck did they make? I'm about to learn some history here. What did they make? Games. Storm, Star Trek, Ricochet, Extreme. I've clicked on this link. What the fuck is this? I definitely haven't clicked on this link. But double what the fuck? Crimson Lord, Lionheart, Ricochet, Lost Worlds, Wick, Ricochet again, Big Kahuna Reef, Mosaic. I've never heard of any of these games. Build in Time, Music Catch, Fairy Tales, Simple. I've never heard of any of these games. Oh, web game, Facebook. Makes sense. So they make Facebook games. That's why they fucking failed. Nobody wants to download a whole online launcher, especially in 2020, to play a fucking Facebook game you could play in your browser. Then an attempt to make a game store after buying Twitch. I'm glad that fucking failed. Imagine Twitch saying you can only stream games if you buy on PC if you buy them for our game store. That would be complete and total utter suffering. Thank God, bro. Thank God, bro. Our assumption was that gamers would naturally buy from us because they were already using Twitch. What the fuck made you think that? That's like saying that. All right, that's like saying, yo, we sell. Oh, I got you. That's like saying we're a candy store. So we thought that if we put bags of sugar out, people who want to cook sweets would come and get sugar from us. No, them bags gonna stay on the shelf because people don't walk into the candy store to buy ingredients to cook food with. Why would I walk in a candy store just to buy a bag of sugar? If I'm in a candy store, if I need a bag of sugar, I'm probably grocery shopping. Why not just get it in a grocery store with all the other sugar? 1, 2, if I'm in a candy store, I want candy. What the fuck I'm gonna buy the sugar for? I'm gonna make the candy myself. Why? If I'm gonna make the candy myself, I'm gonna need other ingredients besides sugar. Why would I go to the candy store if I wanna make the shit myself when, again, I could go to the supermarket? Same fucking thing. Like, just because two things have close proximity to each other, that doesn't mean that you can get away with putting them in the same space. You gotta understand why people like that product in relation to your product. The way they do it now, where they give you like rewards for certain games and stuff like that, that works and that makes sense. But the other way around, hell no. Lastly, Luna. This is still an active service, by the way. That shit sucks. Don't nobody use it. That's why when they give out free games on Luna, I don't even be claiming them bitches because I ain't never gonna use Luna. That's not to say the assessment that Valve punches above its weight is inaccurate. In fact, back in 2018, some Valve staff tried to figure out how efficient they were despite being relatively small. Okay. Turns out their pound for pound efficiency was higher than Apple, Facebook, and basically every tech company. Lower profits overall, sure, but per head, Valve was making some absurd bank. So basically, if Valve was able to scale whatever their plan is, they would be fighting with the Apples and Googles of the world. Now, that may not necessarily be something that they should do, but in theory, it's possible. Compared if the stats that they're talking about are true. It's more the naive fascination Evans has with the idea that Steam is good that baffles me. The mistake was that we underestimated what made customers use Steam. It was a store, a social network, a library, a trophy case, all in one. Yeah. And also, add another thing into it. On top of the store, cheap store. And then another part, it's been around for longer. So some of it is also emotional attachment. Besides like the trophies and all of that, some of it is emotional attachment. Some of it is just, I've been using Steam for a long time, so why not keep it that way? And it worked well. No doy. Oh, look, I've said it again now, blah, blah, blah. At Amazon, we assumed that the size and visibility would be enough to attract customers. In theory, that's not wrong, but again, in context, it is. Because just because you have something to do with games, that don't mean gamers want to get games from you. Look at GameStop. GameStop is literally a store that, in their mission statement, says they're dedicated to selling games to gamers. That's what GameStop does. That's their main thing, sell games to gamers. But when the last time you went into a GameStop? Exactly, moving on. Fuck that. A lot of people, somebody might try to argue, well, when the last time you've been into a store, period? Because most people do their shopping online unless it's like groceries and sometimes clothes, because a lot of people buy clothes off online. Okay, cool. When the last time you wanted to get a game and you said, I really want to buy another game, man. I really want to buy some units for Marvel Rivals. Let me boot up my computer, go to Google Chrome and open up GameStop.com and see if they got it. Nigga, you ain't do that shit. You went through Amazon, you went through Steam. Steam. You went through PSN. You're not going through to no goddamn GameStop for anything. Gamers already had their solution to their problems and weren't going to switch platforms just because a new one was available. This is the main part of it, I think. Just because a new one was available, it has to be a strong incentive to get them to come over. Like, for example, the reason why I preach the good word of EGS and why I had a strong incentive to like mainly use them as much as I can is because they give away free games, 2-3 free games every week. As somebody who's gaming on a budget, it's pretty cool that they do that. It is very cool, in fact, that they do that they give away free games all the time. Because as a gamer, why wouldn't you want free games? Now, they may not give you the latest day one games like Game Pass or whatever, but it's like, bro, last time I checked, free doesn't cost anything. Even if you don't like the games, just claim them. And when you build a PC, you're going to have hundreds of games that you could check out and try out. See if you like one. I guarantee you, if you claim 100 free games on Epic, you're going to like at least 10 if you're picky. In other words, just because you are big enough to build something doesn't mean people will use it. Again, going back to my candy shop metaphor. Just because you make $1,000 in candy shop sales a day, that don't mean if you start putting bags of sugars on the shelf, people gonna buy it. Like just regular ass bags of sugar. Like, no, nigga, if I want a sugar, why not get the sugar flavor? Get the flavored sugar and get Fun Dip or something like that. Steam Valve is easy to underestimate. Oh, was it? Split Fiction is more than it takes two, built with an unlikely inspiration. Oh, this one I saw and I wanted to read the review. Let me get this summary. Okay, boom. Now, Split Fiction comes out in like 2-3 weeks or so, and I really want to buy and play this game co-op with somebody. I'd badly. That being said, I got a review here. Let's read the summary. Hazelight has always excelled at designing multiplayer games that require constant adaptation and cooperation. As I sped from one level to the next, none of the segments felt the same. As many times as they've showed stuff for this game and it's been different, let me hit that clap it up button again. Flex, drop a motherfucking flex bomb. You played the game for 3 hours and felt tons of variety. Oh. You said none of the gameplay felt stale or stagnant or samey. Oh. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to motherfucking hear. Even as they oscillated between the fantasy and science fiction genres of both hero stories. Some made use of the same basic aesthetics, but that's where the similarities ended. Not every level is a grand adventure, as Split Fiction delves into the absurd just as much as the epic. Suspense of disbelief is a game for fucking fun. Hey, as long as we're still mixing it up and seeing new things, I think that's supposed to be the allure of this game, more so than like, how do I put it? More so than like the gameplay being amazing or there being new crazy mechanics introduced. I think it's more so the idea of a fantasy world that you get to play with somebody else that makes their games fun. One level had me and my partner as pigs, and here I had the ability to launch myself forward with rainbow colored what the fuck? Bro, every time I read or see media about this game, I hear another fucking detail about this game, and I've never heard the same one twice. Every time I hear a detail about a level or something about this game, I'm hearing a new one every time. It sounds like they over there in that studio cooking up just any fun idea they got, they're throwing that bitch in the game and it's working. Not every level. One level had me and my partner. Eventually, we ended up as sentient hot dogs. First time I've heard the same detail more than once. We ended up as sentient hot dogs that had to cover ourselves in condiments and get inside a bun. Oh, that's real relatable. You gotta put the wiener in a bun. I relate to that. Like, I relate to that. One level had me. Split fiction is often silly, joyful, and too creative to stick to one idea for long. That's a good thing. A lot of memorable parts for you to talk about, and a lot more opportunities for you to have a fun, memorable part of the game to discuss with people. I was only able to play about 3 hours of what Fair says is a 12 to 14 hour experience. Even if it doesn't end up having a scathing commentary about the state of AI or whatever the fuck, I hope that it is at least incentive enough to remind us that we don't need AI to make something magical when it launches on the 6th of March. To that I say, I fucking agree. I hard, heavy fucking agree. Sounds like the game is good, man. Sounds like the game is good, but you know, niggas that wake up every day, play Call of Duty and Marvel Rivals, they're gonna come over to you foaming at the mouth. Gaming is dead, gaming is dead, gaming is dead. Like, no, gaming isn't dead. You're tired of Call of Duty. Shut the fuck up. I forgot to close out this tier list from yesterday, I think. Yeah. This one is more so just something I wanted to talk about. Power World is at 30 million players. Every time we talk about the Power World Nintendo thing, people always swinging their nuts back and forth. Like, yeah, confidently with their whole chest saying, yeah, Power World is dying. Power World is dead. Power World ain't got no clout. Power World ain't got this. Power World ain't got that. Shut the fuck up. Like that Chief Keef meme. Power World ain't on shit. Niggas been talking shit. Power World ain't do this. Power World ain't do that. Power World ain't BD on Laron in them. Shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, Power World just amassed over 30 million players on various platforms. Now, I don't know about you, and I'm not saying Power World is the biggest game in the world. I'm not saying Power World is up there with Call of Duty or nothing like that. But what I am saying is that a lot of people are loving Power World. A lot of people are loving Power World. But you know, gaming is dead and so is Power World. Power World is the problem with gaming. BioWare Vitren calls out cruelty of fans celebrating layoffs. You are crossing a line and you're probably attacking the wrong person anyway. Now, I wanted to look at this and really touch on this to see what the fuck he's talking about. Cause like, I agree with the general sentiment. A lot of the time when layoffs happen, I see a lot of people going, the devs were probably lazy pieces of shit and they deserve to leave because woke DEI, blah, blah, blah. And people start blaming a bunch of shit around the situation and probably blaming them for the game being ass and all that. But really, what did I say? We seen proof of it earlier in the PlayStation thing. 9 times out of 10, it's a studio exec breathing mad hard on their neck, dick on their shoulder, talking about, hey, bruh, make that a live service element. Don't make that free, charge them for that. Just over their desk, watching them like a hawk the whole goddamn way of developing the game. So some of the decisions, they're just doing their job because they got families to. Dara's latest video, however, has another subject, the more toxic elements of the video game fandom, blah, blah, blah. The video's called Your $70 Doesn't Buy You Cruelty. Oh, I may have to clap it up button up for that one. Because one thing I heard as a teenager a lot is a lot of people said that even if you don't stick with it a long time, everybody in their life should work one retail job, just one. Whether you're a receptionist, whether you're a waiter, like wait staff in a restaurant, the niggas that bring you the trays of food, for some of y'all that are a little bit slow and have that 8th grade, 6th grade reading level, the niggas that bring you your trays of food, the way I had it broken down to me is everybody in life and your life should work at least one retail job before you get like 25-ish. Because a lot of people be treating retail workers like fucking trash. Like they be treating them like, because I'm thinking about, not even because I pay, because I'm thinking about spending money at this store, you gotta get down on your feet and listen to everything I do. If there's a puddle on the floor, I shouldn't even have to look. I shouldn't be able to tell. You should just jump down face first, and just be like this on top of the puddle, just laying on top of it, just soaking up all the puddle juice with your whole outfit, while I get to step on your back and step over you. And if you do anything less than that, they start treating you like shit. I agree with this sentiment heavily because I've worked retail before and I know people will treat fucking staff at the store like shit. My favorite one. Nah, you know what's my favorite one though? You know what's my favorite one? But like my second favorite one is, can you check in the back? Bitch, if it was in the back, that means it's available. It's either not available for sale right now or it's not there. It's not in the back, bitch. My favorite one is, I want to speak to a manager. Dear stupid motherfuckers. The manager is going to come out and tell you the same shit I just told you. And you're going to get mad and you're going to threaten to go to corporate, or you're going to threaten to not buy anything at this store ever again. And I'm not going to lie. When y'all be threatening retail employees with not buying at their store again, we fucking love you, man. Because like whenever you come in and you bitch about something and you're a straight problem and you say, you're making me mad, I'm never gonna buy anything here again if you don't tend to my specific bratty ass, nerdy ass, loser ass needs. We clap. Us retail employees, when you threaten us with a good time being not coming back to the store, making us suffer, please don't come back. Matter of fact, I'll assist you with walking out the door. I'll show you other stores you could go to. Go bother them niggas and let the same thing happen. Then what's gonna happen? You're gonna bring your ass back here. And you either gonna shut the fuck up and buy it, or you're not gonna buy it at all. Or you're gonna buy it off of Amazon. Which, in most of those scenarios, I don't give a fuck what you got to say, because you came in this store just to look around, and the point of this store is for you to buy something. You ain't buying shit. So really, you're just taking up space and making the environment uncomfortable for people who want to buy shit. Because now I got to spend time telling you you're a fucking idiot instead of you getting out the store so people who want to buy shit can come in and buy shit. Now the environment is uncomfortable. People getting ready to walk in the store and they hear me in the back of the store calling you a fucking idiot because you're a fucking idiot. But you know, like he said, your $70 doesn't buy you cruelty. People don't even be spending that much and they think they deserve cruelty. Niggas bootleg a game and think they deserve to be cruel. Bitch, nigga, no. Sees there, address issues as diverse as players celebrating layoffs to the kind of persistent personal harassment and threats that could result in courts having to get involved. The former producer makes clear he's not talking about folk criticizing a game they've paid good money for or telling others they don't like it. Yeah, that's another thing. Game developers prefer for you to give feedback on their game and how they've done. But what they don't prefer is for you to start attacking shit that doesn't make sense. Like, feedback for a character would be, I don't like the way that this character was developed in the story because they were a main character, but their story was never really fleshed out. They were only a one-dimensional character. That's a critique you could give on a character that could make sense and be legitimate and valid. And that's just a very vague example. There's some people who play a game and just go, I woke. Nobody wants to see this. Insert N-word. No way. I'm gonna say what all the races, what their favorite slur is now. Nobody wants to play as this fucking George Floyd because for some reason they just think that's an insult. Like, I had somebody on one of my games on Marvel Rivals earlier, side tangent, who we was playing in a match, right? And you know you about to lose a match in Marvel's Rivals whenever you see a gold and a bronze and a silver in the lobby all playing with each other. You know you about to lose because it's somebody trying to boost their friend. You know you about to get fucking cooked by the other team unless the other team has a similar lineup. You know you're about to get cooked. And in this particular match, the whole rest of the other team was all silver too, and our team had a bronze, a gold, and then everybody else was silver. I was like, yeah, we're about to get fucking cooked. That one bronze that person is trying to boost their friend, why the fuck does this shit keep slipping off my neck, bitch? We know that we're about to get cooked. I know it. I can just tell. And in the match, 5 seconds in, we started getting absolutely fucking toasted. We couldn't move towards the point. I'm playing tank. I'm pushing up towards the point. I'm saying, and it's not like I'm not communicating because I'm always mic'd the fuck up. I got my mic on. I'm saying healers. I'm gonna need you to hard pocket me because I'm going to do a hard push towards point. Other tank. We need another tank. Other tank. We had another one, I believe. I said other tank. Push with me. Be aggressive. If you're playing tank, bro, big side tangent. But tanks, when you're playing on keyboard and mouse, there are 4 buttons. There are 4 buttons in relation to where you go. For this, there are 4 buttons: W, A, S, and D. Look, W, A, S, and D. There are 4 buttons for you to use for movement. When you're a tank, you should mostly be pressing W. Don't press S, press W. Matter of fact, if you are playing tank, for all your characters in your settings for tank, I think you need to disable the S key. Turn off the S key, because a lot of y'all got the bad habit of walking backwards when you shouldn't. You're walking forward, you're getting pocket healed, and you just turn the fuck around going, oh my god, I'm getting shot. Yeah, nigga, you a tank. You supposed to soak up damage, and part of that is getting shot. That's why. Like, I could tell none of y'all niggas was old enough to watch Kick-Ass. When Kick-Ass came out, y'all motherfuckers was just being born to some shit. Because everybody who's seen Kick-Ass remembers one of the most iconic scenes is when Bat Daddy shot a hit girl in the chest with a gun. Because when we all seen that in the theater, or we all saw that for the first time, when Gang got shot in the chest, when Hit Girl got shot in the chest, we was all surprised, like, whoa, why did this dude just shoot this little girl at point blank range? What the fuck? Then you saw the bulletproof vest, and he explained it, and he broke it down, and he was like, look, even though you got on a bulletproof vest, getting shot still hurts. I don't want you to put this vest on and run forward and think you're fucking invincible, like you over here doing a Rick Ross run just because you got a bulletproof vest on. Like, even if they hit the vest, because they can still hit your head, they can still hit your foot, your hands, anything like that, you could still feel pain and you could still die. Like, a lot of y'all never watched that episode of Kick-Ass. Like, the reason why he shot her was the teacher, like, bro, you gotta approach situations carefully. When you a tank, same thing. You gotta approach situations carefully. You gotta know how to start fights. The biggest part of being a tank is starting fights. But going back to what I was saying originally, he just started insulting me and saying slurs, and I knew it was fucking bad. He was about to say some crazy shit, because the first thing this motherfucker came out his mouth and said is, look at me, I'm using my ebonics. I was like, that feels racially charged. Then he came on the mic, he called me an N-word, a George Floyd, or this and that. And the first thing I said, I wasn't even mad, because I've heard all this wild shit. You're an N-worder, you're this, you're that, you big monkey lips, blah 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 blah. I've heard that shit for a very long fucking time. I asked him, I was like, yo, genuine question, I don't even care about the insults. I was like, why do y'all pick George Floyd? Because, like, there's a lot of other people who are victims of police brutality, but I was like, for some reason, y'all have a fixation on George Floyd. Why? Like, I don't get it. Like, I was genuinely asking why, and then he just took it as an opportunity to say more slurs, say, oh, I hate their big monkey lips, and blah, 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 whatever. Anyways, back to this though. Back to this. I don't even know how I ended up on that side tangent. The former producer makes clear he's not talking about folks criticizing a game. But I guess you can be explicit about this stuff on the internet. Dara's issue is fans feeling they have the right to target random developers who work at the studio behind a given title, even when you don't know the circumstances that resulted in the thing that you're mad at. If you're mad at an Ubisoft game, says Dara, be mad at Ubisoft, the entity and the higher ups. Express your anger to Ubisoft or the studio that made you. Oh, what the fuck? I accidentally reload. Be mad at Ubisoft. Express your anger to Ubisoft or the studio that made the game. But you cross a line when you start being cruel about it. And by being cruel, he mostly means insulting the developers in personal ways, like sending death threats and shit like that. If you're one of them people that be sending death threats to motherfucking game developers, I'm not gonna lie, you're a fucking loser. You're a fucking loser. You need to get the fuck off the computer and go to the gym or something. Because I know your fat ass ain't been exercising. You got a lot of pent up energy you need to deal with. There's also the fact that whatever someone dislikes about a game, pinning that on one individual or even a group of devs is just wild. Like, yeah, because as a team, they had to come together and approve that decision a lot of the time. Either that or the higher ups come towards them, dick on the shoulder, and say, yeah, do that. All of this isn't to say that you aren't allowed to have your own opinions, to not like things you don't like, says Dara. It's specifically to point out that you being angry at a specific person, you attacking a specific person, is often misdirected. There's a lot more to this, but I think we pretty much kind of got the point across. Stop harassing people, because 9 times out of 10, the person you're harassing, it's not their fucking fault. That being said, I will delete today's articles, and I want to grind Marvel Rivals ranked, but I refuse to do that shit on stream because I don't want to run into these streamers. That being said, peace out, y'all. Cutting this stream the fuck off.